If you're Gen Z, you're probably going to spend $145,000 on rent by the time you're 30. That's about $18,000 more than what millennials had to pay at the same age, according to a study by Rent Cafe. Like everything else, inflation has made renting and buying a home more expensive for everyone. But there is some good news. The study found that Gen Z could actually be looking at lower costs to buy a home at an average of $165,000. That's about $7,000 less than what millennials had to pay at the same age. And Gen Z is also expected to earn 14% more than millennials by the time they're 30.
Hey y'all, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lumi, and today we're going to be looking at why Gen Z can't afford a home. Now, this first one, I don't know where she's pulling this data from. I don't think were there any sources? I didn't see any. But, or maybe she's going off of this article. But yeah, it's saying that like Gen Zers, they're gonna be able to buy cheaper homes on average of about 165,000. I I've never heard of homes that cheap. That seems pretty I don't know. Like that seems like almost like a fairy tale. Um Please let me know where houses are that cheap. I'd love to check it out. And then the study also goes on to say that like uh people, Gen Z, they're going to be able to afford more because the jobs are going to be paying more. So I'm just like, okay, like how is this? Where are they getting this data? Like, where are they making these projections? Like, how could this be? Because currently the path we're on now, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like um, as like a country, we're going to be heading towards some difficult financial time, it's not going to be very great for the economy. Like, um, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
All right, so this right here is the trick that allows me and all my Gen Z friends in our early and mid-20s to own at least one home, and for a lot of us, multiple homes. So like nobody under 25 has like $200,000 to put as a down payment on a house unless they have rich parents or just got really lucky with their job. But what you probably do have money to do is maybe have a spare $15,000, $20,000 to do like a 3 or 5% first-time homebuyer down payment on a property, contingent on having enough income to support the mortgage. So the trick that a lot of really savvy young people who are willing to make sacrifices to make a lot of money will do to get their first rental property is buy a house like this that's like 5 bedrooms, 2 or 3 bathrooms, 2 different stories, and ideally a split level that has 2 different kitchens like this one does. One upstairs and then a dinkier one downstairs that you can live in. And then literally rent out like the other 3 or 4 bedrooms that are upstairs to people individually so they can cover your mortgage. So if you're willing to live in a shitty area and not like Cap Hill or Belltown or some really hot neighborhood, what you do is you go out to the suburbs, you go out to like Kent or Everett or whatever, and you pick up like a $500,000, $600,000 home, and 3% down for a first-time homebuyer conventional means you only need like 25K for down payment and closing costs. Your mortgage is probably going to be like 4,000 something a month. But that's okay because you live downstairs, you installed a door that literally like prevents people from coming down into your separate unit in the basement. And then upstairs, you just Airbnb that motherfucker, or you just find long-term tenants and rent it out room by room. $800 a month, 4 bedrooms is a long-term rental will get you $3,200 a month subsidized on your house that you pay $4,000 a month for. So yeah, you're still paying something to own this house, but it's way less than rent and you're building equity. And even better, after a year, you can move out of that thing, turn this entire thing into a rental property.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I hate how he acts like, oh, 20K, everyone has 20K laying around. Like, it's like, what? What are you smoking, dude? Like, I think he lives in Seattle, and I know like there's a lot of tech jobs out there that pay extremely well, so he's probably like a software engineer or something, making good money, probably well over $100,000 a year. So he definitely has like the income, the monthly income to cover like the mortgage and stuff like that. And at least have 20K in savings to put down. But yeah, not all of us are that lucky, dude. Like, and also it's extremely risky because remember the mortgage is like almost 4K a month, and you have to rely on tenants to cover that. Like, what if no one's renting from you? Like, what if people are just not renting in that area, or I don't know, you're like asking for too much because the mortgage is too high. Like it just seems incredibly risky, and also, what if the job market in the area starts to tank? So literally, you're betting basically your house on random people to rent from. Um, I don't know. Personally, it seems pretty risky. You also have to like, I mean, as he said, he didn't sugarcoat it. You have to like, you're gonna live there, right? So he said you would live in the basement for like a year until I guess it paid enough to like sustain itself, right? And then you would move out to I'm assuming a better place. Um, but yeah, it seems like you hear about all this talk of like passive income. Oh my God, like I feel like passive income has been a buzzword now for so long, but it feels like a freaking feels like a dream. It doesn't feel real. It feels almost like a scam. I think the only real passive income is just owning property and renting it out. That's it. Because at the end of the day, you're not really doing anything. You're just providing a room or a place for someone to live in, and they pay for it, and that's it. So it's pretty much passive until something breaks, obviously, or you have to renovate it, you have to do maintenance, you know. So, but like, yeah, and anything else, I mean, I guess you could say like the stock market is kind of passive, um, and that it really only takes your time away because you have to like do research and keep an eye on it and like move money around and whatever. But yeah, I think the only true passive income is just become a landlord, become a scummy landlord.
Deciding whether this home decor is millennial or Gen Z. Millennials gravitate towards this TV stand with a fake fireplace like moths to a flame. They also love to watch The Office on this TV. The Gen Zer who has this shelf just turned 21 and bought 818 tequila. She's probably dating a man with a perm who only communicates with her via Snapchat. The Gen Z who lives here loves to overshare on the internet. Her second aunt now knows about her vaginitis. She could probably benefit from keeping a journal instead. The millennial who lives here probably just bought a new car because they thought that student loan debt was being forgiven. They're unfortunately now in even more debt. The millennial who lives here loves watching Bath & Body Works candle hauls on YouTube. She has an obsession with boxes and talking shit about people from high school. The Gen Z who lives here keeps her blue raspberry jewel pods in her baguette bag. She often tells her friends that she's simping on a man with face tats. She doesn't admit it, but she does want to be TikTok famous one day.
I had to end on a funny one. But no, this one, it's obviously a skit. It's just poking fun. But damn, I could actually relate to the one where the I think the millennial or the Gen Zer thought all the student loan was getting forgiven and bought a new car. I literally did that. That's 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 kind of why I bought a new car because I was like, oh well, I guess I can afford it now because my student loans will be forgiven. I was very naive and I still kind of am. But anyway, yeah, no. Gosh, I don't know. This is it's like it's fun to joke about, but at the same time, it's kind of like, damn, like we all just want the same things at the end of the day, right? Everyone wants like a nice place to call their own, whether it be like a condo or an actual house, just something, something that you can kind of, like I said, make your own. It's like your retreat, right? Um, and I guess like yeah, you could do that with like renting, sure, but remember, like when you're renting, you're just sort of throwing that money away. Like it doesn't really come back to you. It's when you own something like property, because property typically appreciates over time, you're basically paying yourself, right? And I've said this before in another video. about, just the importance. I like to stress about the importance of ownership. And you can see in the media, they're telling you more and more that, oh, we should just be a sharing economy and a renting economy. Do not buy into this because you're gonna just be a slave for the rest of your life if all you do is rent and you never own. Okay? So always understand that like when you own something, that is a tangible thing that like is yours, right? And I know cars don't really appreciate. I mean, some do if you get lucky and it like becomes a collector's item or something, or you take really good care of it, right? I mean, hell, if you if you bought a Miata in the 90s for like, I don't know, $15,000 or however much it was, and kept that low mileage, kept it in like a garage for 30 years, dude, old Miatas now sell for like 30K, 40K sometimes, like if they're tricked out. It's pretty crazy, like how some cars like they actually go up in value. But to get back on track here about housing, yeah, so it's very important to own because, as opposed to renting where you're just throwing money down the drain, right? When you own it, you're actually paying yourself, and that money is actually growing. Like once you buy the house, if you can, I know it's very difficult. It's a lot of money, but if you don't refinance and you stick to it, you stick to your mortgage, or you even pay more than you're supposed to every month. Well, that's another trick is if you can get the longest mortgage you can that the bank will give you, which I think is like what 30 years is the maximum. Or is that the normal one? I don't remember, but get the longest mortgage you can, and then the trick is, and this is where self-discipline comes in, right? The trick is you pay more than you're supposed to every month. So like if you owe every month $3,000, try to pay 3,500 or even 4 grand if you can, right? And then what becomes a 30-year mortgage, you quickly pay off in like I don't know, 20 years, right? And then the interest isn't even that bad um because it hasn't had enough time to accumulate, right? So you would think, oh, well the interest, but no, not really. If you pay it all off in full early, the interest isn't even that bad. So it's kind of it's a win. But anyway, guys, this one's getting kind of long now. I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a like, thumbs up down below. Dislike it if you dislike it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are any of you here millennials or Gen Z? Do you guys own your homes? Have you gone through this process? I'm personally interested in it, so let me know what your experience is down below in the comments. And as always, consider subscribing if you enjoy this sort of thing. It really helps me and the channel go a long way. But anyway, guys, I hope you all are well, and I will see you in the next one. Later.